Google Plus. What is Google Plus? After doing 3 hours of research, I still couldn't tell you. Probably because all I keep hearing is it's Google integrated. It's Google's attempt to social networking. They've tried in the past and failed. Now they've attached all their powerful tools into one service called Google Plus. Google Plus? I know Google as business. Actually, my first introduction into Google's tools, resources, pipelines were, I've heard them thrown around, oh, use the Google search engine. You know, it's 100 times better than, I was using, what was I using? MSN, I guess? I don't know. I had Web TV to begin with, and then I moved away and had a real job and didn't have a computer with me, and it was still one of those things where computer was an extra. You know, it was either you were a part of the business professional and you needed it, or it was you knew someone that used it and you were just a secondary person. It wasn't a today where everyone not everyone has access to it. It was an amenity. Anyways, a power user. I had worked with a gentleman that was going to college up the way. He was going to be a computer engineer, which he's working in the forces, and he's still doing that. He's working that route. But he was a power user. He used one of his invitations for me. He had a certain number he was given because they were still working on a limited number of servers, and you could only use so much, or that's how he explained it to me. It was exclusivity. So I'm like, all right. So we set that up. The next major big burst of Google in their services was when I went back to school to gain additional knowledge and resources and all that fun stuff. Google Plus, well, not Google Plus, Google Docs, Google Gmail, and Google Calendar. Most of these were required resources that I needed to use to communicate with my teacher and work in the educational environment. I believe that's why these services became so popular and accepted, is because they were required for me to get the job done. The boss said, and Google sold it as streamlining, integration, ease of use, all these things, and they were able to sell it to the business. And I saw it as a resource requirement that I needed to do to get the job done, to get paid. After using it, I found out it was a very powerful tool. Much like their search engine, very powerful. We understand that. How does it work? I don't know. But if it's Google integrated, and it's not just one service offered, Google Plus, how is it compared to Twitter and Facebook? Why are they even in this same field? You know, it's this Goliath of a man coming in, playing a completely different sport, coming in and offering, I could do that, but I could also do this. You know, it's offering this wide, vast solution. Then why is it seen as this is all it can do? Why do we as an individual, why are they seeing it as what is Google Plus then? And that's what it comes down to. I think the lack of definition is the issue here. Let's break it down a little bit. Google Plus, that's basically it. It's definitely Google. And I guess Plus is the way adding people, I guess. The Plus add to their network. Is that it's you adding people to their network. As I believe the idea behind it. You know, it's that quick thing. But the problem is this. Google. Like defined before, it was sold to a business, required for me to do my job, and powerful. Each one of these three things are but it is a service nonetheless. But it is how I get stuff done, how I get paid. That is how I view Google, how I get information. That's Google. Facebook, it is also a service. This is how I define myself. This is my network. This is how I. This is me. Facebook, Twitter. How. This is how I think. These are things that I believe are good. Not where I go to get information. I mean, unless if it's about other people that are defining themselves. You have resource. You have ideas. Okay. I believe these ideas. Now they may lead you to other resources, but they are meant to be me. It's me. This is the world. So you got Google Plus use. So what they're doing is taking the power from Google and the power from the me, and then trying to combine it by offering circles. And I'm not sure. I'm not even concerned whether I'm looking at you, and I'm sorry. Offering circles. This is their idea. It's combining the two forms of. They took let's say the plus side. The plus side is the social networking. They took all the plus from that and then crammed it into one thing, and it came out with circles. And let me pull up the wiki page. Circles, Hangouts, Messenger, Instant Upload, Sparks, all these other things. And the other stuff is more data driven, which I'll discuss later. It's a huge pet peeve about that. It has nothing to do with the service itself or what it can do. It's the lack of idea, and that's what I'm talking about. Plus, so they took the best of the best. Circles. Basically, what you're doing is segregating people. You're putting people on these ideas. All right. Technically, that's what we do on a day-to-day basis, but we do it without thinking about it. Facebook allows you to do it with groups. I don't think Twitter does it. I'm not a big follower of Twitter. But the thing is, with Facebook, can get away with it. They've made exclusivity their business model. They love it. Their users love it. They love the fact that they can be told no. That's what it is. That's why that service is able to get away with that. Google Plus is obviously mimicking that and then adding tweets. Now let's talk about tweets. The reason why Facebook doesn't do tweets is because they're already limiting people on being in the circle. Twitter allows you to get in the circle, but they only allow you little bits of information, a quick tweet. And they're able to get away with this because the idea they formed with this. It is that little bird that sits outside the window and tweets. Bam, bam. They get annoying real quick. But for that brief moment, when that time hits, that you look out and you're like, that's beautiful. That's perfect. That's why I like it. That's why you keep it, is those beautiful moments. But the rest of the time, it is annoying as hell. So now you've taken and that's why we allow that bird to stay there, is because those moments are super, 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 super cool. And yes, I'm looking at myself if you don't know. And that's why it gets to stay there. Facebook gets to stay there because I know I'm part of the in crowd. Now, Google Plus has made this mediocrity. Mediocre. I am just any person that can log on. There's no exclusivity. Anyone can do it. And I can send out as much as I want. It is to anyone. And I can get followers and whatever. So there's no exclusivity. And I don't know where I was going with Twitter. So the idea behind, okay, there we go. Sorry, Google Plus. What is the idea behind there? It's Google integrated. Now I'm buying into the corporate. It's all their products integrated. That's what I keep hearing. That's what everyone thinks. It's Google Plus me. It's now I'm getting slapped in the face that I am now a part of the internet. Now, even though Facebook and Twitter are me posting my stuff on the internet, I'm not slammed in the face thinking that anyone can see this. It is there. It's in the back of my mind, but the pros outweigh the cons. Me being in feeling that I'm in this circle, which you guys have just blatantly, this club, and then with tweets that I get to get a gem of information eventually, or I get to spew out annoying tidbits of my life or happiness, little beep 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 to a million people. Even though it's online, I don't see it as that, because these are closed things. The fact that Google's name is in there now forces me, is this going to be everywhere? And from a business standpoint, and by your business model and the way you sell your services in the past, or the way I believe you sold your services in the past, this is where it's at. This is amazing. I see the potential there, but this is not how it was started. It wasn't sold to businesses and required by them. Instead, it was given to individuals. So how then, if people are fearing the idea of being public, how do we get people started? Now, if you look at it, and I just said your old business models is business required. It's not going to happen. You guys obviously aren't doing that. You've, I guess, tried this. I don't know. Or you need to form an idea. Get people to get an idea that allows people to define. Get an idea. Okay. Or get an idea that allows people to define your service, Google Plus. So right now, people are defining it as Google integrated, Google service, all Google service provided integrated into one, and they're trying to integrate you. That's the idea that's coming around. And the way it was started was the power user. I mean, the first people that are inviting other people are power users. So, and businesses at this point. So, the issue is a lot of these people are super users to begin with in the Twitter world, in the Facebook world, in the whatever world. They have their own blog, and now are required to stay online to learn these new services, even though they're very simple. Except for the circles. Like if you've got a huge network you're trying to flip over, you've got to reorganize anything. It's requiring man hours. And with that being said, all these non-super users may not understand this. They've grown accustomed. They've spent the years learning this because they understood the ideas behind it. And they were easily able to define these ideas to others. It's all about being accepted in the offline world. And I believe that's where Google Plus needs to go, is accepting the fact that this online service needs to be integrated into the offline world. And by doing that, you will far surpass anyone. It is an offline service, and that's where I'm at. But the required online hours to overcome that, give as many tutorials, not written tutorials, I'm talking on-screen video tutorials, as many as you can get on every basic service. Make it as simple and easy. Do a TV show. I mean, just talk people through it. Have fun. Oh, this is how someone did it. We'll show you how to do that real simple. It's making a success. That's what you're trying to do. So the final decision we have, or Google Plus has, when it comes down to making the decision, is it going to be boss or is it going to be boss? How are you going to integrate? Are you going to make it work oriented? Then define it as such. Is it going to, like LinkedIn? LinkedIn wasn't even a competitor in this, because I don't know. Well, it's because they don't do pictures, I guess, or what have you. And then, or Boss, awesome. I mean, right now you are so okay with the supers. I completely went past that, because you're super users, and the way you develop this, and all the complaints are from super users, so they understand the functionality behind it. They understand the requirements. They're able to flow through this. And for a non-super user or a non-intellectual person to come in and look at this powerful resource tool that with all these opportunities to grow and just be me, it is very scary. And tutorials will overcome that. There's my segue. Offline. The other thing is understanding that Facebook and Twitter offers the opportunity for offline use. I mean, it's information that I can utilize offline. Right now, you're looking at it as a service, a research tool. Again, this is your business model. This is I'm not even sure if I read your Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. I believe you've done that. At this point, you're looking to hop into the money-making machine of the social networking empire. It's a wall you keep banging your head against. Google Plus is not going to do that, because of the fear, because of the segregation, because of the required hours it takes to learn, and the fact that I have no fucking clue what it is. No clue. All right. Final thoughts. New name. Final thoughts. You need a new name. Right now, G's. 3G, 4G. G's are in our lives so much. Google, G-Phone, all this other stuff. Gmail. G's are in my life enough. Worrying about thousands of dollars, the G's. You're trying to get the 3G's. Get the G's out of the name. Get it out. Alright? I know you want to make the G's, but come on. Don't call it Google Plus. Don't call it G Plus. It's not Power Plus. But define Google Plus for what it is. And here it is. Here's the big thing. This is the 17 minutes you've been waiting for. It is a fixed input network distribution service. That's what it is. Fixed input network distribution service. Let's take service off. Fixed input network distribution. Find. There. Now for this idea to be absorbed, you need to find a way to find your customers. Find a way to find what they like. Find a way to make it as easy that my grandmother can use it. Find ways to allow people to utilize the service offline. Apps are not it. That is still tying me online. That is a concept that I need to be online to utilize. If I turn my phone off, can I thank Google Plus for their services? Find that, and you'll find your people. Now, with that being said, here's one I'll throw your way. I'm doing something over at Indiegogo. I'm funding for it. I know it's not going to happen because I'm just a Joe Schmo, but you guys have the resources, and I think this would be a good offline marketing strategy. And I'll be on the phone tomorrow trying to get a hold of you. I'll try to do it tonight, but I doubt anyone will answer. Or this will be all online by then. It is called the Perpetual High Five, basically. Here's how it is. And then you can utilize this with your integration in your service. It's the marketing blow off. It is that. It is. And you can watch the video. Indiegogo, whatever it is, and then Perpetual High Five. My name is Josh. I'm the guy on the video. Basically, the way it works, it is a way to, that moment when you're so excited, you just close the sale, you just want to give someone a high five. Whatever it is, you have this amount of energy, positive energy that you want to share, and the high five is the only way to give it up. Bam! Well, the system that I'm thinking about is a way to track this information, both visually and geographically. Think about it. That high five that you started, that you wanted to give, you're able to track through photos, see other people giving high fives and how you positively affected the world. I mean, this is a great marketing strategy. First and foremost, you're going to get people. But the thing with the service is I was going to utilize your answering service as well and attach a phone line to it. Now, I was going to look at Sprint because they do MMS, but apparently your services is able to integrate into phones and stuff like that. So that way people can text it or do whatever. Anyways, you think about it, you review that video. That's another 20-minute video, I think. And then I have other ideas too. For another way, and this is probably redundant, the opportunity for QR codes. And you're like, why would I need a QR code? One, I'm an offline person, but if I want to share something with someone, like occasionally, you know how people post, print out photos and stuff, little comics like from the newspaper and stuff. The basic comment is this: I've been posting up, like I like to post up random QR codes around. I think like an easy, if I share the information, I should be able to have an option to print a QR code that I would be able to add into my newsletter or what have you, as like the best video of the week or something. That way people can use their phone and print it. If you are able to do that on all your posts, it's a simple integration in a service, which I'm not sure if you already have. But I would like that on there as well. Another one would be like the exclusivity part. Party. If you could find like a party, like you already have the circles defined, and you already have the circles defined. So, or maybe you don't. But an actual, I have an event. I want to invite a certain amount of people. Event planning integration that would be able to house all sorts of stuff. I don't know. Actually, I know a lot. I just don't want to go because it's going to be a little bit of information, and I need to go work out. Indiegogo, you can probably contact me through there. That way I can guarantee, without giving any other information. I don't know. All right. Thanks for your time. I'm going to review this and upload it. Well, actually, it'll take an hour.